Hey guys, it's Sam. Today I would like to talk to you guys about my top 5, well there's a bonus, but top 5 favorite Hobonichi Weeks accessories. And the spin on this one is going to be that, in my opinion, and I know that all of this is subjective, but all of these are low buy friendly options. I know that for me, and I've also heard it echoed in my comments section, a lot of people are going to be using 2024 as kind of a reset, either a low or no buy. And I know that a lot of people are discovering Hobonichi Weeks for the first time, and I just wanted to do an updated video on what some of my favorite extras for this fabulous planner are. Hobonichi Weeks is, I don't know, I can't see it not being part of my lineup going forward. It's such a workhorse in such a small little package, and I've enjoyed using it throughout the years. It does make me crazy sometimes, but for the most part, I love this planner. And so over the years, I feel like I've just kind of fallen into a pattern of the items that I like to use with it that just make it feel a little bit more functional as a planner that you're carrying with you every day, all the time. So the first one is going to be what I have discovered my favorite pen to be, and that is this felt tip pen. And this one is from the brand U Brands, U, not Y-O-U, but U Brands. And I first discovered these at Target next door to my house, and they come in lots of different colors. I have quite a collection of them myself, but you can find usually just like the same colors at Target. Sometimes they have like a more plastic barrel and it has like polka dots on it. And then there's this like soft touch, they call it the Catalina pen, and that is in like a yellow and a pale green and like a pinkish color. So I've purchased many of those different packs, and Amazon also is a great place to go and look for these. They have them in lots of different colors, larger packages. I recently invested in a dozen of this particular pen in this black with the black clip, because I have like two sides of me. I love all of the warm browns and the earthy colors like olive green and burnt orange, and then I'll be wearing all brown leather and wearing a black Metallica shirt. So I always like to have like my earthy side and then like my metal side. So I have the black one, and I feel like it goes with everything. So I really enjoy this one. So I did invest in a larger pack of this particular pen. The reason why it is a favorite is because I feel, and I've talked about this a lot in my videos, but I feel like one of the things that makes me crazy about the Hobonichi Weeks is that it has that beautiful Tomoe River paper, but it smudges easily and it's difficult. How do I explain this? I feel like I have in other videos, but like on the fly here. So I feel like when you're writing that it doesn't have a lot of tooth to it. And these UniJet Stream pens, which you get when you order from the Hobonichi shop itself, come with it. This one's actually a 0.7, which is my preference. It comes with a 0.5, which is just a little bit too fine for me personally. But I feel like you just don't have as much control. And when I look at my handwriting with this particular pen, even though I use it and love it with every other paper that I use, I don't know. I don't love the way it feels. Now this one, it doesn't have all the smearing like you would with your gel pen. This is actually a hybrid ballpoint pen, so it's different than like the Bic stick that you can get just at the grocery store or whatever. But with these, I don't know. For me personally, I just feel like I have more control over my writing. And it doesn't dry as quickly. Now, of course, the 0.7 is gonna take a second longer than the 0.5 just because it's got like a wider tip to it. But this one generally has a little bit immediately, but like you saw, it didn't after that. But the U Brands does really well as well. And the other thing is, with the Tomoe River paper, sometimes they don't play very well with highlighters. And so this one, you can highlight over, at least with my usual go-to highlighting pen. And so for me, I really like that because, you know, if you pre-highlight, then you don't know, maybe you made way too much space or way not enough, and I dislike that. So I like to be able to use my highlighter the other way. I like to be able to write first and then highlight over it. For pens that I have loved throughout the years, Pilot Friction, it gets a lot of flack for, you know, being the pen that is like invisible or whatever. I have never had an issue with that personally, but I like the way this pen writes in the paper. I like these pens, but you cannot highlight over it. It's almost like the ink starts to disappear. So these, as much as I sometimes get kind of bored using the same pen over and over, I do like the way that it looks in my planner when I like flip through the pages. And I feel like it just looks nice and consistent. I just like the way that it looks. So this has become my favorite go-to pen for the Hobonichi weeks. I do have times where I have tried to use the Jetstream or another pen, and I wouldn't say that it looks like bad, but I just feel like when I look back through my planner and I don't like my handwriting, I don't know, it just makes me a little sad. Now, I don't think that it looks horrible, but I just don't think that it looks its best. And there could be a lot of things factored into that. You know, I didn't use any kind of decor or anything, but I don't think a planner needs that. Even on the weeks where I've used nothing, I feel like this still looks better somehow. So this is just my go-to pen that I love using with my Hobonichi weeks. So yeah, the U Brands pen, a favorite for sure. The second one is going to be I wanted to cover the prices because I did mention that these were more low buy friendly options. So the prices for these, and again, it is subjective what is low buy, but for 3 of these at Target, or at least my local Target right now, they're $7.49. They used to be a little bit less, but inflation, blah, blah, blah. You can get 6 on Amazon for about $16. A lot of times that does depend on which color you're choosing or different colors that you're choosing. I think that it was like $25 or $6 to get a dozen of these, and so that might be like pushing the boundaries of, you know, what most people consider a low buy. But since I know that I use these consistently throughout the year with my Hobonichi weeks, spending that a couple of months ago, I was like, well, you're going to buy them in little bits, so you might as well just buy the color that you want in a larger box. And I will have that linked in my links below. I really appreciate it when you use my links and support me like that. It's not expected, but thank you for those of you who do. All right, so then going back to the second thing, the Midori index clips, and then the index, like the book darts. So the index clips themselves, I think that I first saw these used, and I don't think that it was in a Hobonichi weeks, but I could be wrong. I think I saw Lindsay Scribbles use these like years and years and years ago, and I had been trying to find something that like wouldn't look worn down or broken down or rip or tear, and I bought myself a pack and I'm still using them. I absolutely love the patina that they get over time. They do change. They're nice and shiny when you first get them, but I like to keep them on the spots that I want to turn to the most quickly. So I know that this one is where I track my cycle, and I always put one down here on the current week, and then I always keep one back here to whatever my next notes pages is, and then I currently have one here with the My 100. So I know where those are, and it works for me, it works for my brain, and it just makes flipping through pages a lot easier. And anything that can make your planner more functional for you, I'm all about it. So I really like these. And then the book darts, these are even more thin than the clips here, and these I like. I like them for like my journal and my weeks, and I also like them just for books. So you put them on and they're super thin, like I said. And then if you are using them, let's say in a book, you would be able to move them down to where you last finished a page. So like if you didn't finish in a paragraph or you forgot which paragraph, it points you to where you need to be, and it takes up like there's no chunking it up with this. So if you like things in your planner that are going to be nice and thin and slim without taking up a lot of bulk, then this is definitely going to be something that is helpful for you. Like I said, with these, you can use them in anything. And with these, I suppose, of course, as well, but I have used them in my planner for years now, and it's just my preferred method of getting to a particular section. And so for these, the index clips and the darts, I'm sure you could find them other places. For me in the United States, I go to Jet Pens. And for the Midori index clips, these are $8.50, and I forget how many you get for these, for that. I think it's like 8, but they're fabulous and I can't recommend them enough. Love, love, love these. And for these little book darts, I got 12 of these for $3.50. If you're looking on Jet Pens, these are, I think, labeled as orange, but they're more like a brass. And then these, I think, are brass, but I always go for the warmer metals as opposed to like the silvers, but they do have them in both options, whichever you like. So the third one is going to be the Hobonichi pencil board. And of course, you could make this really a low buy item by making your own, but usually they're just a few dollars when you go to the Hobonichi website, which I get that you're paying for the shipping. But when I'm buying my planners there, I pop in some accessories that are pretty low cost. And so it's only a few dollars if you add it to your Hobonichi order. And for me, I don't really use it as a pencil board. I like the feeling of writing on, I don't like the feeling of writing on the blotting paper, but I like the feeling of writing on several layers of paper. If I'm writing on, let's say I'm using my rings and I take out an insert to write on it because I don't like working around the rings, I will take out like 3 pages at a time because I like the more soft background to write on. So I do not use a pencil board as intended, except for on rare occasions, but just for like general writing in my planner, I don't use the pencil board, but I do use it as a page marker, as a place to keep my post-it notes. And so I always just have this with me and I'll move it around. Sometimes I will take the blotting paper and kind of move it around with the pencil board as things are drying. So it's definitely a low buy extra that I always have in my Hobonichi. And if you buy it, like I said, on the Hobonichi website, it's only going to be a couple of dollars for you. If you get it on Jet Pens, it's going to be $8. And of course, you could make your own for even less, but I like the little accessories that go with Hobonichi and buy as much of them as I reasonably can justify buying with my order. All right, so the next one is going to be favorite, the Tombow brush pens. And so when I was speaking earlier about my highlighter of choice, this is the one that I have used for years now. And I do have others that I like, but I don't know, something about these. When you go through and you're writing, I'm trying to find that page I was on. When you go through and you're writing and you're highlighting afterwards, you know how when you use some markers, when you stop the edge, it gets that like really hard edge. And I feel like this one is just a little more softened when you stop your mark than others. I feel like some of them have that like hard stop. And I know that there are lots of different ways that you can, you know, put a piece of paper here and, you know, hit the stop like that so that that little mark goes onto the page that you're using for that. But like, I don't always want to be doing that. So I'm all about like whatever's going to get me the best result for the quickest time. That's me. That's my life. I'm not really trying to do extra stuff here. So with the U brands, I'm able to write and then I can go in and, oh no. Okay, so in fairness, this works really well, but I never do that immediately. So what I usually do, oh gosh, what I usually do is like I'll write, give examples here. I will write this and this and this and this, and then I'll go back up to the top and then I highlight, highlight, highlight. I never just go in and immediately do that. But like, okay, so did I write with the friction on here? I think this is the friction. So this was done a while ago, and see how it still disappears as I highlight over it. And then this one doesn't have any smearing, doesn't disappear. And that was just about enough time there. So yeah, you can highlight over this, but just don't do it immediately. I mean, it still is way better, even though it did smear, it's way better than other pens that I have used with this marker. I hate to like mess my marker up, but if I use the friction, and generally like all the gel pens, they're just gonna make a huge mess. See how it like, look, 3 swipes and it's like I didn't even write anything there. Yeah, so that's my go-to combination. I always have these, and so I definitely go for the neutrals, the earthy tones. There's some greens that I really like. There's even like a not pinky pink that I really like in my Hobonichi weeks, but these are the ones that I always have with me. 992 I use a lot, and then this one, oh gosh, is this the 226 or the 126, something like that? I'll flash it on the screen. These are the ones that I use probably the most often of the 4 or 5 that I keep with me. So these are about $3 a piece. It depends. You can get them at Michael's and places like that. You can get them on Jet Pens, but around $3 a piece for those. And then of course the extra bonus is that they do have that other side, and you can write with this as well. So they are great. And of course you can hand letter with them as a bonus, but I just don't do a lot of that anymore, and I use them for their function. All right, so what is next? All right, up next is going to be the Ollie clip, and I use these in a bunch of different ways. So I don't know if you noticed, but this I have done, I think, since I started using the Hobonichi weeks. I love to put whatever week I'm on and whatever month I'm on and put the rest of the pages together and just be able to easily flip back and forth, back and forth. So right now I have one of the small ones on. When you get to the end of the year, especially if you really have chunked it up with stuff, which I don't, but it's easier to do at the end of the year with one of the large ones. But I just really liked this color, specifically with last week, because it kind of matches my tree. So I had that one that I put on here, and then of course it doesn't take up as much space. And so I'll just kind of move it around my page as I go through the week, and I just like to be able to easily flip back and forth. The other thing that I really like to do with them is I will leave one on the outside of my weeks if I'm carrying it alone, or I'll put it on the outside of whatever cover I'm currently using, and I use that so that I can easily put stuff. I'll put my shopping list there, a receipt, anything that I need to like call to attention really quickly. And of course it doesn't help that they just, I don't know, I like the way they look. So this one I don't think that you can get currently. There's a couple of different ones from the moon phases, full moon, but they don't currently have this one offered. But I did buy this a couple of years ago, but they have lots of different colors and lots of different designs. I think there's something for everybody, but they're super useful. I know a lot of people also use them for crafts. And you know, if you're working with like pins, like if you're sewing or whatever, they will keep the pin held, and nothing's gonna roll away from you and you won't get poked. Now the Ollie clips, these for the large right now, I think they're about $10, and then they, you know, of course you have to buy this for the shipping and all of that, but it's about $10 for one of the big ones, and then you usually can get the smalls for less, and then you can get multi-packs of a lot of the small ones specifically as well. But I've been collecting these for a bit. I actually have some that should be arriving soon. They've updated, they've done like a thinner shape, and so I'm going to try a couple of those out, but I really like this. They're based in San Francisco, but I don't think that they make them in San Francisco. I think they ship them in from overseas, but I was very tempted to try to find their shop when we were in San Francisco a couple of times recently, but didn't get there. Had so many things to do. Okay, so that's my top 5, and I hope that you agree that these fit into a lower buy scenario. And then the last one, which is going to be the bonus, is just going to be what I currently have my Hobonichi Weeks in. The Weeks clear cover is inexpensive. It's like a couple dollars when you're ordering on the website specifically, and you're going to pay more like, I don't know, $7, $8, $9 if you order from somewhere like Jet Pens or whatever. But this is so useful. Hobonichi, I feel like they think of everything. So it keeps your cover clean. It acts as a little case. You can use this to hold your page, which I don't think I've ever pulled this particular one up, but this can hold your page for you. And it has little pockets in it, and they're super helpful. And it has a pen loop and a pocket back here. There's just all kinds of places that you can put things in, and I just really like that about these. There are different hacks. You can spend a little bit more money and make it really functional. I really like these bands, which are only a few dollars, again, if you order them from the Hobonichi website. This, my cat is obsessed with. You can see little kitty chew marks. I swear, no matter where I hide this, he comes for it. He finds it. He's obsessed with this thing. And they have them in a couple of different sizes. One's for the Weeks and the A6, and there's another size for the cousin. And I just like that you can very inexpensively cover your Weeks and keep it protected and use the pen and all of those things. They have another option at Hobonichi, which you can use a closure with it and make an inexpensive cover situation. This particular one is in green, and I don't think that I've ever used it. So it's got the little pen loop here, and then it keeps it closed with a little belt cover. I have been really looking for the like the tan one. I think it might be a little bit darker than this, and I can't find any around here, and I really would hate to make a special Hobonichi order just for this band, because, you know, the shipping is ridiculous. But I just wanted you to know what was out there that like help complete this. Of course, there's hacks with Velcro to very cheaply make this your one and only cover, but I just like to keep mine protected. I have the leather, the olive green leather for this year, and so I'm not going to be using a clear cover. And I've had a couple of deep breath moments about it. You know, I'm a little bit nervous because I always use this cover, but as cheap, like in cost as they are, they hold up really well to abuse all throughout the year. And Hobonichi also makes some that are like a little bit more pretty and a little less plain. But of course, if you have a cover that has a lot of illustration on it, you don't want to cover that up. So that's why I chose the regular clear one for this year. And like I said, this is a couple dollars if you add it to your Hobonichi order, and not much more if you are ordering it from somewhere that's doing like the selling for the Hobonichi products in the US. So that is my list of my favorite accessories to use with the Hobonichi Weeks. And like I said, none of these are really expensive. Lots of different low buy options that are my favorites. Which one of these do you use, or do you use all of them? Or I'd love to hear from you in the comments below what your favorite accessories for your Hobonichi Weeks are. Maybe I'll discover something new, but hurry, because my low buy is about to start. So if I'm gonna buy it, I'll need to know about it soon. Anyway, oh boy, can you tell I'm nervous about this low buy? I haven't set all of the rules for myself yet, but I'm trying to compile them and assess them before I get to that point so that I can share them with you here in a separate video. Anyway, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.